When God gave the nations the church, he gave that nation the answer to their problems. Because God's kingdom is not just a spiritual place. What you don't know is that God's kingdom is a country. There's power in knowledge. There's power in information. There's power in knowing something. If you know what has been written concerning health, it is easy to claim healing. If you know what has been written concerning finance, it is easy to claim wealth. If you know what has been written concerning business, there are words in the scriptures that have...
You want to a life transforming experience as Pastor Prince Abah brings you God's word with deep insight and power. God bless you.
When God wants to bless you, the first thing he gives you is a dream. God will not give you capacity to receive until he gives you capacity to see. Oh, yes. I want to say it again. God will not give you capacity to receive until he has given you capacity to see. Because it is what you see that dictates what you seize. God has never blessed a man because that man prayed better than the other. No. He blesses. The degree to which God blesses is the extent to which you are seen. God could not do anything with Abraham until he got Abraham to see. He said, Abraham, look at the stars. Look at the heavens. Can you number the stars? He said, as far as your eyes, as much as you can number, so shall your descendants be upon the earth. He took him to the seashore. He showed him the sand. He said, can you number this sand? As far as your eyes can see, so shall I give to you. So listen. Success does not start with wishing. It does not start with having. It does not start with wanting a thing. Success starts with dreaming. It starts with dreaming. It starts with dreaming. And I want to say that if there's anything that separates you from every other person who is successful, more successful than you, it's not because they are more fortunate than you. It is simply because they have dreams. They have big dreams. God does not give you small dreams because he's a big God. Any dream you have for your life that is small, check, it didn't come from God. It's your own dream. And you may actually have to fulfill it by yourself. If God gives you a big dream, then he will need you to depend on him to fulfill that dream. Because everything that comes from God needs to stay connected to God to survive. For instance, you came from the dust. Is that correct? Is that correct? You maintain your body with things that come from the dust. For instance, the cream you rub came from the dust. Are you aware? The clothes you wear came from the dust. Hello? The shoes you wear, the sandals, everything, your tie, even the wristwatch, the eyeglasses you wear, they all came from the dust. Yes, glasses are made of sharp sand. Is that correct? Okay. That's what you call the Pata principle. Anything that has a source must stay connected to the source from which it came to be sustained by it. And that is why man is a body that has a spirit and has a soul. Is that correct? Okay. Your spirit didn't come from the dust. Your body came from the dust, but your spirit came from God. Now, just like your body would need to stay connected to what comes from the dust to sustain, like food, crops come from the dust. Your spirit needs to also stay connected to things that comes from, hello, that comes from the Spirit to sustain. How do you sustain your spirit? The word, prayers, worship. These are things that comes from the Spirit. That is how it is with having a dream for your life. Any dream that doesn't come from God, you will need to sponsor. But if that dream truly comes from God, check it. That dream is bigger than you. Know why? So you would have to rely on God alone to achieve that dream. Now, it has been said that you can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you cannot tell the number of apples in one seed. That's what dreams are like. Dreams are seeds. And until you have that seed, you cannot create the fruits. You cannot create the future. A farmer who wants yam plants yam seedlings. Is that correct? A farmer who wants maize plants maize seeds. A farmer who wants mango plants mango seedlings. Then a person who wants success, who wants more money, who wants more wealth, what does he need? Yam. Hey, feel like closing the service. Yam. Mango seeds. Okay, what does he need? What's the seed he needs? A person who wants greatness in life, who wants success, what does he need? Dreams. Dreams are seeds. Until you have dream seeds, you cannot create success. Believe it or leave it. The seed for success is dream. Is dreams. Is dreams. The seed for success. The seed for the breakthroughs of tomorrow. The seeds for the success of tomorrow. The seed for whatever it is you would ever desire in your tomorrow is dreams. The question I want to ask you is, what is your dream? What is your life's dream? I want to say this before I continue. There's one thing about having a dream for your life. Check it. That dream keeps you awake. This dream I'm talking about is not the one you dream at night when you sleep. It's a different kind of dream. The one you dream at night is the one you dream when you are asleep. This one I'm talking about is the one you dream when you are awake, and it keeps you awake. It keeps you awake. And one thing with this kind of dream is that when a man has it, no challenge can stand on his way. Nobody can stand in his way. No circumstance can stand in his way. Why? That dream has the ability to crush issues. Once you have a dream that truly comes from God, not even what you're presently going through matters anymore. Do you know the security of your future is your dreams? Hello? Let me take you to the Bible. Then I'll show you. Then you'll go back tonight after I'm through with you. You'll go and appraise. Lord, what I have been saying I have, is it really a dream or is it just a wish? Because if you have a wish and the wish does not happen, you can give up. If you have a wish and challenges come, you can throw in the towel. Yes, no. For instance, if you sit down in your house and you're wishing for a car, wishing for a car, and the car doesn't eventually come, do you feel angry? Hello? It's just a mere wish. Hey, I wish I was a White House now. And someone just tapped you and you discovered you're in Azugu. Will you get angry? You won't get angry now. It's a wish. One thing with dreaming is that once you catch the dream, you plant it. Then you walk towards it. If it is a dream you are in pursuit of, can anything stand in your way? If it's a wish, there is, wishes are like building castles in the air. Dreaming is also building castles in the air, but with foundation beneath. That's the difference. Listen to me. Listen to me. The man who needs a dream is not the one who has everything working. The one who needs a dream is not the one who is already in the future. The one who needs a dream is the one who wants to create a desirable future. So that you are going through challenges and you're going through troubles is even a ticket that qualifies you for dreaming. That you're going through hardship. That you look at your current life now. Is Gary you are soaking. Is trekking you are trekking. No money for Okada. You can't change your car. You can't change your wardrobe. It is just a clue that, my friend, you need a dream. Because dreams are seeds. If you want an orange tree, you don't need prayers. What do you need? Go and sow an orange seed. If you want to dine with presidents of nations tomorrow, you don't need prayers. Go and sow a dream. Just go and sow a dream. You want to become another Dangote, another Adenuga, another Jimo, whatever you call them. It doesn't take nothing. All it takes is sow a dream. If it is a dream indeed, nothing can stop you. Can I tell you something? You don't need any motivation for success. Dreaming is enough motivation. You don't need any inspiration for success. Having a dream is enough inspiration. Except it is a wish. A wish is something you don't regret having if it doesn't finally come. A dream is something you are willing to stake your life for. You would pursue it until you see it come to pass, no matter how hard it is. No matter how difficult, you would go on until you see this thing happen. Can I show you of one man who had a dream? Thomas Edison. Thomas really had a dream. You read about him in your physics, is that right? What was his dream? To invent what? Electricity or electric bulb. The guy did one thing for how many times? Over 1,000 times. Kept failing. He didn't wish to invent it. He dreamt of it. He saw the actual future in his present picture. That picture he saw, he was willing to convert into tangible reality. In spite of the challenges, he stayed on it. That's a man who had a dream. He had a dream. So when they asked him after over 1,000 times of failing, why did you, you finally made it after all your failures? It's a point of correction. I did not fail. I only learned 1,000 ways the electric bulb cannot be invented. That's a man with a dream. You know one thing about having a dream? It changes your language. It changes how you talk. It impacts your spectacle. Your spectacle is how you see things. A man who has a dream can be drinking Gary now, but in his mind he's drinking Golden Morn. A man who has a dream can be in a Keke Napep now, but in his mind he's in a G-Wagon. He's in a Rolls Royce. That's what dream does to you. It changes your worldview. It changes how you see things. It changes your pictures. It changes how you respond to things happening to you. Do you know, I asked somebody a very interesting question this afternoon. I was watching a movie with her in my house. I said, if you were born, a legendary movie. Oh, I said, if you were born in this kind of era, what would you have done? She said, hey, Pastor, I would have killed myself. I wouldn't have wanted to be in this kind of life. I said, why did all these people not kill themselves? They enjoyed that life. See them walking around naked. They thought that was the height of civilization for their time. Hello? So if you were born in that time, you would have thought that was the height of civilization, except you had a dream. of civilization. But do you know when you call civilization are only the impact of dreams of people? The kind of suit you're wearing, dream of somebody. The kind of cars you're driving, dream. You have GSMs, somebody's dream. And some of them are even branded with their names. Somebody's car, Mercedes. Mercedes actually is the name of the daughter of somebody who founded Mercedes. Honda, somebody's name. Giorgio Armani, somebody's name. Some of the perfumes you wear, somebody's name. Somebody had a dream. You didn't have them many years ago, but you enjoy them today. Hello, somebody contributed to your generation because he had a dream. I entered the plane one time, flying from, where was I flying to? But I sat in the plane. I sat around the wind. I was just looking at the plains of the world, and I was like, wow, see me flying in somebody's dream. I looked at how that thing took off, from the base, boom, hit the wrong way, the speed, and after a while, somebody just pressed one button, the thing just zoom, and it's going up, and it's gaining balance. It's going up. Before you notice it, the thing suspends in the cloud. The guy who dreamt that thing was told it is not possible. Let me tell you, if there's anything that is not possible, it is not anything, it is you. Hello? There is nothing like impossible. The word impossible simply means impossible. So impossibility is not with a thing. Impossibility is with a person. They flew that plane in spite of all doubts from all nooks and crannies. You can't fly it. Forget about it. It can't happen. It can't walk. Leave it. Human beings cannot fly. Metals cannot fly. Only birds can. Somebody sat down, saw the birds, and created metallic birds. And it's flying. Why? Power of dreams. Dream seed. And that is why I could not give up, because if you truly have a dream that comes from God, if you truly have a dream that is big enough, it doesn't matter what is currently in your way, you would weather that storm. You will weather that problem. You will weather that situation until you see that dream comes true. Pristine Hills is a dream. You have not yet seen the picture yet. Do you know the picture I see? I like what I'm saying now. Okay. When I was in the university those days, and people were complaining, especially when we were near graduation. Oh, but after school, what next? There were saying things like, hey, Prince, we know you now. When you graduate, they will give you automatic employment. After all, your brain is fire. They will employ you automatically. And so people were like, what? I said, look. If they will employ me, please come and take my own employment letter. I have a dream. If they will employ me in this school, and you are afraid of joblessness, just come and take my own employment letter. But anyway, I noticed in time, certificates are not transferable. You can't inherit it. So if you are pursuing it, keep pursuing it. After you get the first class, let me see if your son will inherit it. You carry the first class, just go and put it in your... Of every other thing you transfer, you can't transfer a certificate. It's in your own name. It's not in the name of your son. If your son carry a certificate first class, give me a job. My father made the first class for me. It doesn't work. Only dreams will help you. I said, carry on. If they would give you the job on my behalf, no problem. But Oga, I have what will separate you, right, from the rest of your equals? You're in school now, you're out of school. What will distinguish you? Check the quality of your dreams. Written down dreams. Written down dreams. On Sunday, I'll still continue on this stuff. Be showing you some of the attributes of a good dream. But let me just try to lay a foundation this evening, just to stir your hearts up. I knew I had a dream. So I couldn't be tossed to and fro by every employment letter that came my way. Because I knew I had a specific dream for my life. That dream became my passion. Hear me very well. Without passion, you will soon pass on. Believe it or leave it. Passion is the fuel of your drive. And where do you draw passion from? Dream. No dream, no passion. It is not a big thing. When you try to get people to be passionate, what are you trying to be? It's just like carrying fuel and pouring it inside something that doesn't have life. Like maybe pouring it on top of a car. It won't work until you put it inside the whatever. Then on the ignition, the car can now move. That's what passion is like. If you're trying to get a man to be passionate without dreams, you'll be wasting your time. Because passion actually flows from dream. Passion does not flow from without. It flows from within. The Bible says, out of your bellies shall flow. Out of the dreams in your heart shall flow. That is why I can't sleep at night. That is why I cannot stop doing that one thing I've started doing until it finishes. Why? There's a picture before me. The passion flows from within me to drive towards that cause until it happens. There are many people I'm going to be talking to you about in this service on dreams. A lot of case studies. Which one do I mention or leave the order? Is it Bill Gates? Who saw a new age of IT, and yet his professors doubted him? Is it Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook? I've mentioned Thomas Edison. There are many more. Think about all the great inventors of the world. People told them it couldn't be done. Yet they stuck with their dream until it came to pass. How did the blender come to be? Should I show you how the blender came? I'll give you the story. A young guy once observes the mom. Every now and then, the mom will be cutting onions when she wants to cook. And she will see tears coming out from her eyes. And the guy observed, mommy always cry whenever she cuts onions. Why? One day he summoned courage and went to the mom and said, Mom, why do you always cry each time you cut onions? And the mom said, I don't cry actually. It is the fumes, is that what it's called or whatever, from the onions that gets into my eyes that causes the tears to flow. It's not that I'm crying. And the boy thought, how many women in this world cry from cutting onions? And it inspired a dream in him. And the first blender was invented to help crush onions so that there will be no need for cutting the thing. And the first stuff came. A young man by the name of Henry Ford saw how unaffordable, so highly affordable, or how, the cost of buying vehicles. And he had a dream that one day people on earth, every human being will no longer trek but be able to afford a car. And that was his dream. And he was able to invent the Ford Motors. So affordable for people to buy. That was his dream. Somebody sat down, saw the vast population of the world, and dreamt that one day everybody could drive a car. Let me tell you something. Dreaming is the only way to escape a life of irrelevance and obscurity. You want to escape a life of non-entity. Dream. Dreams. Somebody sat down, saw you in the picture. A young man by the name of, what's his name? Walt Disney. The guy who built the Disney park in Florida. He got up one morning and told his son, he said, hey son, I see a mountain in Florida. The guy said, no mountain is in Florida. How can you be telling me we see mountains in Florida? There is none. And the man laughed because the guy was not seeing the picture he saw. And a few years down the line, there was a park in Florida with a mountain. When Disney World died and they were doing the groundbreaking ceremony of that park, The master of the ceremony picked up the mic and said, "Oh, what a fascinating edifice we've got here. I wish Disney World was alive to see this." The wife of Disney picked up the mic and told the crowd, "Hey, don't say that. Disney saw it." She dropped the mic and went back and sat down. That was all she said. Because that wouldn't have been possible until somebody saw it. That's the power of dreams. A young man sat down and saw a world where American soldiers those days were going to war and they needed some, stuff to cool them when they go. And the guy invented a particular kind of juice, mixed water with a black colorant, or what do you call it? And serves these soldier men. They liked it. It was first served in jugs, served in plates. And he expanded that dream and saw a world where everyone, every household, every individual will be able to taste Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola that was served with just water with a black, to color it and make it look like something, And it was served in normal cups and all that. And somebody sat down and dreamt beyond that and said, one day, this very substance will be sold in every part of the world. Let me tell you something. There are parts of the world where Coca-Cola is more known than the name Jesus. It may shock you. There are territories you enter, go and ask, do you know Jesus? You'll be shocked. They don't know who Jesus is. They'll be asking you, please, is it another brand of Coke? Yes. They said some people travel to one remote part of Asia, one side of one, not even, China. That a group of black Christians travel to China with the gospel. And China, these Asian tigers are deadly with creativity and inventions. If you know what they are doing in technology now, you'll be so shocked. So they got there, they wanted to preach. Said, do you know Jesus? They asked, please, which machine is that? What technology is that? They didn't know it was a person. There are places Coca-Cola is more popular than that name. Everything you see in life is a product of somebody's dream. And dreams are meant to solve problems. The microphone is somebody's dream. The chair you sit on, somebody's dream. And you know one thing about dreams? Dreams are the only way to institutionalize your name in the sand of time after generations have come and gone, even after you've left. The name Honda has been institutionalized. Honda is no longer just a person. The person has become an institution. Without dreams, you cannot immortalize yourself. Dreams are the only way to immortalize. No wonder Martin Luther said, I have a dream that one day, even when the black man finally became president of America, many years after Martin Luther dreamt that dream, the place the guy went to give his first opening speech as president was on the street where Martin Luther said that statement, made that statement. And today, Martin Luther is an immortalized entity. The world over. Why? One dream. Names like Rolex may never go down. You know why? Somebody dreamt it. Giorgio Armani, somebody's name. It will never go extinct. Somebody dreamt it. What are you dreaming? What is going to immortalize your name in this lifetime and after you've gone? Bill Gates will forever be immortalized. Steve Jobs, even when he's gone, the proofs are everywhere. Even when he's gone, I can still show you Steve Jobs. My iPad. This is Steve Jobs. Somebody dreamt it. What is your dream? What is your picture for tomorrow? What mental picture are you creating for your actual future? That is what is going to separate you from every other obscure person in life. Let me read you one scripture before you say, Pastor, they didn't read the Bible today. Genesis chapter 37, verse 5. A very popular scripture every one of you knows. Dreams. Dreams. I say a man who has dream can be walking with his leg physically, but inside of him is driving a limousine. Oh, believe me. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. So what is one thing you see when you have a dream? People envy. People hate you. You know, those days in school, people thought I was proud. Even up till now, there are some people who think that about me. I say big things, oh. Motun, big things. I used to tell them those days in school, hey, I am 20, 30, 50 years ahead of you guys. Oh. They didn't understand. It will take somebody who is dreaming along your line to understand what you're saying. And hear me very well. If you think your dream will not attract persecution, it's just a mere wish. If it's a dream, watch out for challenges. He said, and Joseph dreamed the dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hate him yet the more. The next verse. And he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. The guy is still talking. The next verse. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. The next verse. And his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. The next verse. And he dreamed yet another dream. Hello. It is nobody's fault if you stop. Nobody's fault if you fail. It is your fault entirely. You know why? Dreams attract haters. If your dream is truly big, it will cause men to revolt. If your dream is truly big, it will attract envy. If it's truly from God, it attracts envy. Especially in this part of the world where we live. And he dreamed yet another dream and told it his brethren and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. This time somebody got angry. And he told it to his father. Hey. And to his brethren. And his father rebuked him. Have your father ever slapped your face because you told him how you were going to build an estate? I used to do it when I was younger. Come and tell my father, I will buy you jeeps. I'll buy you estates. I'll build you. You know what he would say? Have you read your books today? I'll buy you an aeroplane. He thought we were hallucinating. The day I gave him a new car, he was crying. And you know they were the ones who were agitating. You won't do this. You cannot. God forbid. You will not. You will. I say, hey, let me follow my convictions, not your confusion. Because you think I'm the one who is confused. No, I'm not. I'm only following my conviction. You know one thing about madness? You cannot make a mark until you're mad. You will never be able to know your dream has capacity to transform the world until you see the quality of hatred it attracts. From your own people first. The way you will know this thing is going to land me in the palace is that first people will doubt it. They will think you've gone mad. But that's the prerequisite for making a mark. Yes. Now look at this. And said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and your mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brethren envied him, and his father observed the same. Thank God for Jacob. He finally had a rethink, and he observed the same. When God gives you a good father, you can fly farther. He observed the same. The guy had a dream. I don't have the time to take you through the other scriptures. But remember, for the dream of Joseph, the brothers sold him into slavery. First, they plotted to kill him. At another time, one guy said, don't kill him. Let's send him to these merchants going to Egypt. They sold him. They got to Egypt. They gave him to Potiphar. From Potiphar's house, accusation came up. The guy was still shining. Now, let me tell you something about dreams. One thing dream makes you do is that it makes you enjoy every level on your way to your promised land. That is why you can be taking Gary and not complaining. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Joseph was in the house of Potiphar. He knew he was not yet in the palace, but he made Potiphar's house palace. He made a palace out of it. The Bible said that the guy became so blessed because of him. The house of Potiphar flourished because of the guy, and the man could not help but put him in charge of everything in the house. Joseph was a slave, but he was the master of other slaves. And because of his outstanding nature, the wife found him very attractive. The wife of Potiphar. What is it about this guy that my husband will put in charge of everything? He came around. And what was she looking for? Not Joseph, the dream. Because hear me, my friend, if you stand out, things will come looking for you. And sometimes they're not coming for your benefit. They are coming to destroy the dream. And some of them come wrapped in fine packages. They don't come looking like death traps. They come wrapped in fine packages. That's why sometimes you should be careful of praises. If you have a dream and you know where you're going to, there are praises you will ignore. There are appreciations you will ignore. Somebody tells me, oh God, that guy is the best pastor in town. He's got the best church in town. Oh, his messages are sound. I say, how can you be appraising me with a boy? How can you be doing that? I'm here to hit the satellite space. I'm here to preach in the White House. I'm here to speak to presidents in Nassau Rock and senators. And you are praising me as the best preacher in town. You're only causing me a distraction. You know what's about dreams? When you make a decision about where you're going to, every other thing becomes a distraction. Every other thing. There are certain awards that become a distraction. Certain drum mix is the best drummer in town. You become a distraction. Have you played like the guy who plays for Kirk Franklin? That's a problem we have in this part of the world. They just localize your dream. That is it. They localize it. They tell you, oh, he's the best preacher in town. He's the best man. He has the best business in town. But if they take that your business and put it in Abuja, it will be killed. The small business in Abuja that are rated small business will kill your big business, boy. Hello? Am I making any meaning to you this evening? You better get this thing. There are things you just show up. You don't let them enter your head. It's a distraction. The woman came. Hey, fine boy, no pimple, just dimples. Hey, Joseph knew he was going to be married, oh. He knew this is not the woman. He can't be my August wife for crying out loud. Eh? What if I do this thing now, my August wife get pregnant? And she doesn't know. She just comes and they ask, we find out she's pregnant. It's Joseph who did it. See scandal. Eh? The guy just goes down. The guy knew. Hey, your dream is your biggest security. Because your dream is what carries your identity. It's what bears your identity. Your dream is the description of who you are. Show me your dream, I will tell you who you are. It's simple. Tell me where a man is going to. There are things you tell me about that man, I will tell you it's a lie. I know where this man is going to. Hello? Are you with me now? So Joseph knew. Potiphar's house was just a process. This is not where I am going. This is not what I saw. He saw clearly. He said he saw the sun and the moon. He saw the 11 stars bowing to him. He had not seen that sun. He had not seen that moon. So what am I celebrating? Because if you have a concise dream, if you are going to Lagos and you reach Ore, you don't drop from the bus. You know, even if the driver parks, imagine you're on your way to Lagos and they just reach Ore and they park the bus because they want to buy snacks and chicken and banana and all that. And you just come down out of the bus. Hey, thank you, Lord, for safe trip. Which safe trip? You have not reached yet. And for people like me, If I'm going to VI and you drop me in Beja, because Beja is in Lagos, I won't stop yet. I must reach VI. It's okay. After all, it's Lagos, Lagos. I'm just at Aja. Aja to Lagos is to VI is not too far. So what's the big deal? I will stop. So Joseph would not stop in Potiphar's house because he knew there is a devil at this level. I must level if I must get to the next level. So he had to confront the woman. He said, hey, woman, please, don't do this to me. He had a dream. And he had to guard that dream jealously. Because it's a seed. If you give birth to a baby, you guard it jealously. You don't expose the baby to everything. You guard the baby jealously. Because that baby is a seed. He has the capacity to be president of Nigeria. You guard it jealously. You feed it jealously. You nurture it jealously. So Joseph had a dream and he nurtured it jealously. And no woman would strip him of that dream. So this is what Joseph did. He fled from the woman. And the woman went and concocted lies. And told the husband, Joseph tried to rape me. And the man was like, just you tried to rape me. Even people who believe in you sometimes can turn against you. Get ready. That's one thing you must learn. You see what comes to a man who has a dream. They carried the guy. Boom, put him in the prison. Joseph would have asked, Lord, where are you? Why are these things happening to me? No, Joseph knew. He knew. For a man who has a dream, some setbacks are just setups. He knew. For a man who has a dream, some setbacks are just... You think the devil will just allow you enter that promised land? He knows what you're capable of doing. He's afraid of you. That's why he's coming. And he comes with all kinds of things. He comes with discouragement. He comes with distraction. He comes with deception. All kinds of things. Just to puncture the seed God has planted in you. Not for you, for your own generation. Your dream has capacity to feed a whole generation. To feed a whole nation. God will not unleash anything in this world until he plants a seed in somebody. Believe you me. God will not unleash anything. There will be no Harvard University until he plants it in Reverend Abah's stomach. No covenant university until he plants the seed in Oyedepo. There will be nothing as whatever you can dream of. Until God plants the seed. Every dream seed has capacity to feed an entire generation. Feed an entire nation. Just like one seed has capacity to make a forest. That's what dreams are like. So the devil comes looking for it. Because he knows this thing in this guy's belly, it can explode the entire generation. Explode the entire world. So he comes to steal the stuff like he came looking for Joseph. So Joseph would have complained, but Joseph knew some setbacks are just setups. Some setbacks, that temporal hunger, that temporal discouragement, that temporal crisis is just a setup. Because trust me, had Joseph not gone through Potiphar's house and through the prison, there would have been no palace. How would Joseph have entered the palace? Somebody say, my times are in God's hand. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Trust me. If you have a dream for your life, there's a role God expects you to play. There's a role God is expected to play. That's why you must be sensitive. Sometimes that things are happening to you does not mean the devil is at work. It can be a setup from divinity. How did God get Nebuchadnezzar and the entire Babylon to bow to him? Set up, carry 3 boys, put them in the kingdom. The guy abused a golden image. Say bow down, they say I won't bow. He threw them into the fire, brought them out. From that day, Nebuchadnezzar used his eyes to see his ears. He said, truly there's a God. Oh. He said, there is God. And he bowed. Sometimes God uses certain fullness of affliction to set you up for the throne. What made Goodluck Jonathan win the election of president for this country? It was just a simple setback of I have no shoes. Had Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, if he didn't have that experience, he wouldn't have won election. Do you know I voted him because of that statement? Fellow Nigerians, I had no shoes. If I can make it, you too can make it. I pitied the man. Hello? If you don't know, your experiences are the motivation for others. God is gathering experiences for you. If you don't have it, it's the motivation for others. What will stir others to succeed is your own story. You see? Everybody in this country for once believed they could be president because one guy who had those shoes became president. Oh my dear, if you had the privilege to ask him, the shoe you're currently wearing now, how much is it worth? He once had no shoes. But he had a dream. So Joseph found himself in the prison. And he interpreted the dream of two guys. One was freed. And he said, when you reach there, remember me. Joseph begged this guy, when you enter palace, don't forget me. Has people forgotten you before? Can I tell you something? If they forget you today, it is a sign that your time has not yet come. You're not hearing what I'm saying. The mistake Joseph would have made was to maybe complain. Why are human beings like this? I helped this guy leave the prison. I interpreted his dream. And instead of him remembering me, he has entered and he's enjoying. For 2 years, he has forgotten me here. I won't interpret dreams again, Seth. It was the same interpretation that got him to the palace. Imagine. Because somebody disappointed him. I will interpret. Let any of you come and ask me for dream again to interpret. You will see something. You'll be there doing. It's only me you guys are using. You keep using me. I keep interpreting dreams. None of you appreciate me. He was expecting, though, that this guy would introduce him to the king. But he did not say anything. Because at that point in time, God had to shut that guy's mouth. Because Pharaoh had no need for a prime minister. There was no crisis in Egypt at the time. So there was no problem to be solved. Hear me. When the problem comes that you are tailored to solve, the world will hear you. You know, there are times during the previous government, people were, I come and go and say, Leche, let's go and see governor. I said, I am not called to do anything in this man's government. I am like Issachar. I understand times and seasons. I say, I know a government that would need the kind of substance I have. What the Leche needs is the kind of Chinedu Oga. I'm not Chinedu Oga. I'm not the type of a Ebonyi Youth Assembly. The kind of governor you have now is the one who needs technocrats. Who needs people who can solve economic equations. People who can solve who can solve political equations. And I'm prepared for it. And he said, don't toast me to and fro. It's coming. I'm like a Joseph. I don't want to hurry ahead of my time. I know my times and I know my seasons. So lo and behold, Joseph sat down there until Pharaoh himself had a dream. That was when that man remembered. Some of the people who you think have forgotten you are just waiting for the appropriate time. The guy remembered, hey, there is one guy who interpreted my dream, sir, and it happened accurately, like he said. He says, send for him at once, for we will not wait or sit down until he appears. Oh no. He said, send for him at once, for we will not sit down until he comes. They are pressing economic issues now. We will not sit down. You say there's someone in this town who has sent for him. You say there's a guy in this town called Prince Abah, and I don't know. Send for him. From Asoro, you say there's a guy in a boy. Call this. Please send for him. Oh, that's why, listen, my friend. Every process God is taking you through, make it like the palace where you're going to. Do you know Joseph was the leader of the prisoners in the prison? He was the leader. What kind of a man was Joseph that even in his affliction he was leading? In an estate, in a place that didn't look like where he was going to. He made that place, my God. That is why sometimes I look at you, some of you, I say, hey. You are dreaming of becoming first lady. You are dreaming of becoming a president, governor, whatever. But what you are doing now doesn't look like where you are going. You cannot become what you're not becoming. So, you see, where I am currently now, I'm not yet preaching in the whole nations of the world, as it were. I'm not yet preaching on the satellite for the whole world to watch me. But guess what? Every stage God brings me to, I make the lot out of it. Why I wait for where God is taking me, I make the lot. Because I need experiences from my previous level to attest or to show proofs that I was doing something before I came to this next level. You see someone like David, for instance. When David appeared before Saul, what was his credentials? I killed lions. I killed bears. Had David been dreaming of killing Goliath and he was ignoring the lions and the bears, he couldn't have killed Goliath. He couldn't have. Have Joseph failed to interpret the dream of that common prisoner, he couldn't have been able to interpret the dream of Pharaoh. So you see, for every process God is taking you through, faithfulness, diligence, commitment is required. If you are not faithful, for instance, a church now, you're given a duty. You are not faithful with discharging that duty dutifully. You will not see the presidency. You are not faithful in discharging that, no matter how skillful you are, you will never see. God is the one who elevates. He elevates when he sees faithfulness, when he sees commitment. He says, seest thou a man diligent in his business? He will stand before kings and not men. So you're not diligent in your prison now. How can you stand before Pharaoh? You're not diligent in Potiphar's house. Was Potiphar's house Joseph's house? Yet that guy took care of Potiphar's house as though it was his house. For instance, Pristine Hills is your house. How do you take care of what is another man's? How do you take care of the business of your pastor? How do you take care of the business of this house? That is what is going to determine whether you have a place in the palace. God does not enthrone mediocres. God does not enthrone unfaithful people. He does not do that. Jesus said, he that will be the first amongst you will be the servant of all. Joseph was first servant of all. People want the throne now, but they don't want to go through the thorns. They don't want to go through the pathway of service. They don't want to go through the pathway of faithfulness, commitment, stewardship. They don't want to go through that path. But they want the thrones, they want the palace. You give them a position in church to discharge a duty. They are not faithful in it. The day your enthronement will come, you will not even know, not to talk of getting it. You will not even know. Do you know what has brought me thus far? Faithfulness in handling other people's business. You will not even be able to handle your own business if you cannot account for some other person's own. Look at the places Joseph was exhibiting faithfulness. In the palace, in the house of some other person. He was managing his properties. How many of you report here to manage your father's property? You will never see the throne, no matter how much of hands I lay on you. That's why inheritance are not for slaves, they are for sons. Responsible people, people who take responsibility. That was the case of Joseph. And for faithfulness, somebody remembered him and enthroned him, recommended him to Pharaoh. And lo and behold, oh, okay, we will not sit until he comes. The guy comes in. And the guy knew his appointed time had come. No wonder he shaved and put on himself fine clothes and came, interpreted the dream. He did not just interpret the dream, he also gave the solution. And from giving the solution, he told them, he said, find somebody who you will put in charge of the economy, who will do this, do that, do that. The man said, hold on. Where can we find a man as discreet and as wise as you? The man did not do election. The man did not ask for CV. He did not ask for the school he studied in. Right there and there, the man crowned him second in command of a whole nation, prime minister. Put him in charge of the economy. And one man held a nation for several years, and there was no hunger in that nation. You think the guy learned it in the palace. He learned it before he got to the palace. There are some basic skills some of you are not learning, yet you say you have a dream. Time management skills, people skills, relationship skills, service, stewardship. You're not learning it. And you want to find yourself in success on the throne, you will never be able to get there. I bet you with no any amount you want me to bet with, I'll bet. You will not be able to get there. It's a law of life. Improve on the quality of your service. Improve on the quality of your faithfulness. Improve on the quality of your consistency. The throne will not be so far. Look at the boy who said he had a dream. Do you know what he was doing when they almost killed him? He was taking food to people who he said were going to bow down before him. No, he would have said, do you know who I am, Dad? After all, you sold me a coat of many colors. See all these big and you're telling me to take food to those people who are keeping sheep in the farm. What do you mean by that? I beg, call another person to come and go and do it. The guy carried his coat of many colors, kept it in the house, carried food, and was going to see his brethren. To tell you the kind of person Joseph became. Because let me tell you something. There are things you would not ignore until you go through the process. When he even finally became the prime minister and his brethren came, they discovered this is Joseph. Oh. Joseph discovered this was them. Oh. They expected Joseph to take their necks, take their heads off, because Joseph had the power to do that. But Joseph wept. They were crying, hey, what we will do? Joseph cried too. I said, don't worry, I forgave you in advance. He said, because God sent me ahead of you to preserve life. Can you see the guy's perception? See, the process the guy went to had already matured the guy. See maturity. What do you call that? See maturity. Where he would have killed. The guy said, don't worry. God sent me here to preserve your life. Just go back, bring my father, bring everybody. Everybody should come to Egypt. There's plenty to enjoy here. Why? The guy went through a process. If you have a dream, there's a process for that dream. If you have a dream, there's a process. If you ignore that process, you forfeit that dream. Service is involved. Diligence is involved. Who are you serving? Who are you following? Who are you paying homage to? Whose properties are you taking responsibility for? Whose house are you taking responsibility for? Joseph knew, I cannot tamper with Potiphar's wife. If I do that, I have bought my dream. Some of us in this age, we will do it though. Some of us that give money in our hands, keep this money, that money will go. Account for this seat in this church. You're the one who's going to think every seat. The seats will get lost because you don't know how to keep. You don't know. The man God blesses is the one who is faithful in service. The one who is a steward. Today people celebrate me as a man with a lot of values, a lot of virtues, a lot of skills and talent. Do you think it just came? I was eager about people's business. Everything, 90% of the things you see in me were not learnt in school. They were learnt at the place of service. Service is not coming to church. Service is what you do in church outside service. Service is that thing you're doing in this house after service. It's not coming to church and sitting down. That's not service. There are things that are not taught. They are caught. There are values and virtues that are not taught. They are caught. You catch them at the place of service. That little position I gave you in church, and you are too busy to discharge. Wait, you will not be able to interpret the dream of governors. How have I trained myself to be able to interpret the dream of governors? I can interpret the dream of kings in society. You know why? I humbled myself. I started interpreting the dreams of my classmates. From my very class, those years in pre-degree school. Lecture will finish. I will gather people. Start talking to them. Start talking to them. Start talking to them. I'll go and read for them. Research. I will open book. Start talking to them. Those days didn't look like I was making so much of sense. But I was doing something. Doing something. I took it from pre-degree. Enter first year. I will go back to pre-degree. Go back to first year. Even going to higher classes. I was doing it. Before you know this, I had gathered enough public speaking skills. You think I started speaking like this? I had gathered enough writing skills because I wanted to write for people. I'll write newsletters. I was writing this A4 for newsletter. I will write, publish my money, share it around the campus free of charge. People thought I was losing my mind. Look at what it has made out of me because I was faithfully discharging my duties to people who people don't even look at. Why are you wasting your time with these young people doing it? I say, you don't know they are my training tools. They are my training kits. Lion and bear was training kit for David. The day Goliath came, he had prepared. And he told the king Saul that I was rehearsing those days with the lions and the bears in the bush, keeping my father's sheep. If God could give me those ones, this guy is just like one of them. What are you saying? And as I keep doing this thing, God keeps exposing my understanding. He keeps exposing my horizon. He keeps exposing the depth of my wisdom, the depth of my knowledge about life. Keeps deepening. And sometimes I marvel at myself. How did you get to know all these things? Some people thought it happened in a very short time. It didn't happen in a short time. Within that short time, I was doing a lot of things. A lot of things. Checking up on people. Handling this, handling that, handling that. And people come around me. Oh, I like you, sir. So how do you think I was able to have a likable personality? You think it's just by talking English? All the skills you see me put in motion, and you don't want to leave. Some of you, you always want to come around me. It's a skill I learned. Glory to God. So they give you leadership now. Take care of 1, 2, 3 persons, and you are dodging. No, I'm too busy. Nobody should give me any responsibility. You are killing your dream. You are killing your dream, but you don't know it. If I were you, start looking for things to do in God's house. Do you know what the church is like? The church is a rehearsals ground. It's a training ground. It's a training ground. Practice is a law of mastery. One leadership position they give you in church, you are failing at dispensing your responsibilities, it will elude you a lot of things. Elude you a lot of things. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Practice. There's some people now, you bring them to a particular platform to say things. They cannot say anything. Why? They ignore their processes. They ignore their days of practice. They ignore their days of training. Training is not in teaching. Teaching is just 2% of success equation. Success works this way. Success starts with being. You must become what you want to become in person. Then it now moves to doing. Then from doing, it now moves to having. You will never have until you are first. Until you be first, then you start doing, then you can start having. All the headache people are crying about, no money, no this, no that, is explainable. It can be explained. It can be explained. It starts with being. If you want to see your dream come true, you have to be. You have to be. You have to be. But you cannot be until these virtues flow through you. And these virtues are your process. Service. That's where you gain these virtues. Some of you are not patient, and that is why you abort your dreams. But you see, God will not take you to it until He takes you through it. Patience must be involved. It's a virtue some of you don't have. That's why you're here today and you're out tomorrow. Inconsistency, patience, and you abort your dream. By the time you come back, that's why there are many failures in life. And you know, sometimes my biggest headache is, God, how do I help everybody? How do I? Let me say this before I drop the mic and close you in prayers. I want you to give attention to every requirement it takes to produce a great man out of you, no matter how painful it is. I want to beg you. This generation is full of distraction. Full of distraction. We don't want the way of pain, but we want the gain. We don't want to pay the price, but we want to get the prize. We don't want to go through the sufferings, but we want the offerings of life. No matter what it would cost, endure the pain. The world will not listen to the story of a man if that story is another man's story. The world is not ready to listen to any story coming from your mouth if that story is not your own. God is taking you through things to mold stamina in you. So when you stand to talk to people, people have confidence they can come out from their own problems. But you abort the process so easily by your own, give up easily. Why am I going through this? One way to escape what you're going through is to ask the right questions. You ask very stupid questions. Why me? Who else if not you? Who should it be? God, why me? And you don't know that thing you're going through is not peculiar to you. Somebody went through it and came out strong. And is known in the world today. Have you invented one thing for 1,000 times and failed? And when you finish failing, you came out and said, no, you didn't fail. Then you just found 1,000 ways it couldn't be done. Check your attitude. Look, your attitude determines your altitude. Nothing else determines how far you will fly in life other than your attitude. You see things like your perception, your spectacle of life. The way you interpret things happening around you. To a far extent will determine how God will take you far. So for me, one thing happens that another person should be complaining, I learned something from it. That thing I learned from it becomes something in my portfolio I'll be able to give somebody when I get to the top who is coming behind me. Because as you're going through something on your way to success, there's an invisible portfolio in your hand. Everything you're going through, God is teaching you something you need to put in the portfolio. Because when you get where God is taking you to, you will open that portfolio and be dishing those things out. I can comfortably tell you some of the things I've gone through. You think I've not gone through houselessness? I've gone through homelessness. I've gone through all kinds of things. I've gone through all kinds of sufferings. I've gone through clothlessness. Have you ever put Gary in a cup and you soak it in water and give it 10 minutes or 20 minutes to rise? Have you ever done it? Oh, yes. And to buy granite to be so hard, you can't afford it. There's a way I interpret life. I don't see things and interpret things the way some of you do it. When you give up easily, it's a sign your dreams have not taken a hold of you yet. Those dreams are just wishes. And if wishes were horses, everybody would have one. Everybody would be an owner of horses. You will ride. If wishes were horses, you will ride on them. If you have a dream big enough that comes from God, whatever you go through, you can withstand. I like the way Robert Schuller said it. He said, tough times don't last, but tough men do. Tough men don't last, tough men do. When the going gets tough, my friend, you get tough. When the going gets tough, you get tough. Sometimes God intentionally allows some of those things to leave you so He can place a demand on your mind to think and create. Yes. Do you know it's the lack of certain things that puts a demand on your mind to think? The absence of certain things that puts, for some of you, it puts a demand on your mind to worry. It puts a calling on your mind to you need motivation, you need encouragement. For people like us, when something leaves us, it creates stamina to drive for something. It's just like if I lose 10,000 now, I lose 10,000. Now lie, I will recover that 10,000 times. Put a drive in me. When I gave out my Mercedes car, hello, my eyes stopped seeing that car. I started seeing something higher. So instead of going back and worrying, everything in my mind is something big is coming, something better. Because anything you're not willing to let go is bigger than you. And if you can let that thing go, what comes in next would always be bigger than what you let go. That's why I don't hold on to people. Because anything you struggle to get, you will struggle to keep. If you beg Motu now, Motu, stay with me, I'm going to the word, I'm going to take the word. And Motu struggles with you. And you beg Motu, you keep begging Motu, you will beg to keep Motu. Worst come to worst, let Motu go. That's when the energy in my mind will stir up. I will get 10 times better than Motu's to occupy the place Motu left. That's when my mind will start running to enter the TV. So you think for leaving me I'm going to fail? Watch me on TV tomorrow. That's the way it has been with me. Watch me on TV tomorrow. You know why I would do it? So it will pain you. That's why Joseph dreamt them more. Make it pain them well. You carry my name and go and gossip. Watch for the next one I will do. You know, I take delight in people's envy. It's better to be envied than to be pitied. I take delight in people's envy. Envy me. I'd rather be envied than to be pitied. Some of you resign to failure so quickly. They conclude, they say you will fail. You finally fail, they will laugh. What will people do when they say you fail, you succeed? They will want to break their head on pray. Which one do you want? Three big, stretch wide. My friend, your capacity is limitless. You don't know what you're capable of doing, my friend. If there are names this world talk about, you have the same potentials. You don't know what you can do until you stick your neck out. Your capacity is endless. Stretch. Let me say this before I close. Even if life's pressure push you to the wall, things push you to the wall, people push you to the wall, my friend, refuse to bounce back. Because if you bounce back from that wall, you will start again. So if I were you, I will break that wall. I will break that wall and keep pressing forward. It is too late to be stopped. I don't know if you understand. Even if you kill me, it is too late to be stopped. I don't care about your envy. I don't care about what you're talking. It is too late to be what? Stopped. You can't kill a man whose will has been made up. I'm already dead now. What do you want to kill again? Does it make any sense whipping a dead corpse? Whose energy is losing? It's not your own. You carry strength and you're eating a dead corpse. You are mad. The guy just stay there and be looking at you. That's who I am. break that wall. I like the ants. Solomon said, learn from the ants. You know what about the ants I like? You put a wall around them, they make a way. They either climb the wall, or they go under it, or they go beside it. Either ways, you cannot stop them. They will keep breaking through. They will keep breaking forth. Learn from them. Something happens to you, you bounce back and go and relapse. You're not ready for the thrones. Break that one, keep going through. There's a place in space for people who are determined to leave the crowd. Rise on your feet. There's a place on the top for people who have made up their mind to leave the crowd. People like us don't need encouragement. Hello? I am already burnt. And ashes cannot turn back to wood. I'm already burnt. Trying to stop me is holding yourself back. Hello? You better leave me and mind your business. And I want to beg you, let nobody stop you. Concerning the issue of your destiny, only you matters. Those excuses of my uncle said, my auntie said, my father said, my this said, it will elude you. Joseph told his own father and mother, both of you will bow down to me. What do you think I was talking about? The sun and the moon. The sun is the father, the moon is the mother. And the 11 stars are the 11 siblings. He made them 12. And there's no apology for it, whether you like it or not. I once told church, the problem with our world is that 85% of your world's population don't know where they are going to, yet they want you to join them. Starting with your family members, most of them. Check the person who's advising you. The first you should check, where is he going to? Check the person who is talking to you. One man who has just rocked on his life tell you, be careful, be careful. This road you are going, these people you are following, this thing you are saying you want to do, take it easy. Life, why you're caging a ratchet ofe oh boy, I will gop the ofe. It's not slow and steady that wins the race. It's the fastest but cautious. Just take it one bite at a time. My friend, put the whole meat in your mouth. They tell you all kinds of, it sounds good in the ears, and you just fulfill your destiny and repeat their own destiny. You don't know that's what they ask you to do. Stop where I stopped. That's what they are telling you. Because if you want to make abnormal mark, your route will be different from their own route. If you sit with Oyerebo, you know the kind of advice he'll be giving you. You think he'll be telling you, take it easy. You tell him, my friend, you're wasting your time. Then sit with your father or your grandfather or your uncle who is already 70 years. But check, the only thing he has as inheritance is bicycle in his house. Sit with him and he's telling you, take it easy. My friend, you are going to end up like him. He said, my friend, you can't fly. You can't fly. All these things you are saying. You start crawling. You crawl from crawling to walking. My friend, even if I'm a child, I can develop wings. Do you know how? Take me to the mountain cliff. Just if I can climb that mountain, I will jump from the top of that mountain. As I'm coming down, I'll develop wings. What do you say? If I can't fly from here, I'll go to the top of the mountain and jump. I'll fly. Have you not fly? Have you not watched men who fly? You've not watched those men who dive into water from mountain top. They fly. You are afraid to fly. Me, I'm about to soar. My friend, if you don't soar in life, you will soon get soured. You know what that means? Have you seen a soup that's soured? Soured soup. The soup don't sour. Have you not had that kind of soup? If you refuse to soar in life, you will soon sour. Like soya beans. Like kunu. Lift up your voice and start talking to God. This
believe you've been transformed by the wonders of God's Word. For additional information about us, you can visit our website at www.pristinehills.org. You can also send us a mail at info@pristinehills.org or call 0806 499 5029, 0812 511 3214. Pristine Hills Ministries, raising global leaders.